September of 1963. Now, Mr. Cobb also said that in the years that he's known Shaw never wore flashy clothes or tight pants. He was described that way by Perry Russo in prior testimony. As for Shaw's trip to the West Coast in November of 1963, Cobb said it was a normal trip for Shaw. He approved it, and that Shaw had been making such business tours on behalf of the Trade Mart for years. Art Kevin in New Orleans on special assignment for 2020 News.
Here in the Los Angeles Hall of Justice, where a crowded courtroom is the scene of the Sirhan trial, reporter Bill Brown wraps up today's testimony. It featured a refuse collector who had conversations with the accused and a doctor who was called to the dying senator.
It was a lengthy day of rather dry testimony at the Sirhan trial, with nothing new being brought out until a Pasadena trash collector testified that he talked to Sirhan soon after the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King about the slaying and other political matters. Alvin Clark told the court Sirhan told him that he shouldn't vote for Senator Kennedy in the then upcoming election because he was thinking of killing him. The testimony came as somewhat of a bombshell. Later in the day, Dr. Stanley Abel testified he reached the side of Senator Kennedy a few moments after the shooting and monitored a strong but slow pulse and breathing rather shallow. Dr. Abel stated that he found a small but penetrating wound behind the senator's right ear, but thought Kennedy was in a general stable medical condition. This is Bill Brown for 2020 News.
Underscoring what he said on the stand was this statement from Alvin Clark later. Brown asked him if he believed what Sirhan had said.
Oh, how could you believe anything like that? Would you have believed it?
You had conversations with him, though, on a number of occasions.
Yeah, but I mean, like you would have never believed. I mean, because he was real kind. You know, like he used to bring me sandwiches out, and, coffee and pop and stuff like that. You know, like he just never appeared to be this type of a person.
James Earl Ray, the accused killer of Martin Luther King, is fighting a lawsuit beside a murder charge. A private investigator, Renfro Hayes, says that Ray owes him over $11,000 for work done for Ray's former attorney, Arthur Haynes. In his suit, Hayes wants the court to give him, as payment, a white Mustang and a high-powered rifle, but Ray says they aren't his. Police allege these items were used in the King assassination. This is KHJ 2020 News.
What makes a person change his brand of cigarettes? We're going to find out.
I'm Jerry Matthews, along with Jan Matthews, checking out why some folks in Southern California are making the change to Old Gold filters. What have you found, Jan?
Two things, Jerry. Old Gold filters flavor and coupons.
The man from Southern California is latching on to that flavor. No question. Old Gold filters, a delicious mixture of rich tobacco flavors. Flavors that never came through a filter before.
Oh, the coupons are important in the Los Angeles area, too, especially to the ladies. Valuable gift star coupons are on every pack of Old Gold filters, and they're good for a whole catalog full of wonderful free premiums. Or you can combine them with blue chip or orange stamps at their redemption centers.
Well, if Old Gold filters delivers the flavor folks want, and the coupons get them free premiums, no wonder there are folks in Southern California going for Old Gold filters. Best cigarette that ever came with a coupon.
Gift Stars, best coupon that ever came with a cigarette.
Well, on the weather front, bad news. The rain will continue throughout the night, turning to showers tomorrow. The reason for the wet, a weather front passing through. Another front will be right behind it, though, so cloudy skies will continue on Sunday, with rain starting again Sunday night and falling rather heavy at times. That squeeze play on Berlin tightened somewhat today, at least in the arena of tough talk. Joseph Fleming reports from the surrounded city.
Communists are claiming that the Western Allies have forfeited their rights in Berlin. The official East German Communist Party newspaper Neues Deutschland made the statement in an editorial denouncing the plan to hold the West German presidential election here. It charged that the Western Allies have broken four-power occupation agreements on the city and therefore have lost their rights. It was made as the Russians and East Germans prepared for military maneuvers that might interfere with overland traffic to the isolated city. However, the communists are not expected to try and make trouble during President Nixon's visit here next Thursday. A communist spokesman told an East Berlin press conference that the president's visit has nothing to do with the election the East objects to. This is Joseph Fleming reporting from Berlin.
An Arab terrorist bomb killed 2 young men and wounded 9 other persons seriously today when it blasted a Jerusalem supermarket crowded with shoppers. Israel said that all Arab nations bear responsibility for that blast. An Arab guerrilla organization claimed in Beirut, Lebanon, that its men planted the bomb and also attacked that Israeli airliner in Zurich. The Vietnam file, the U.S. commander there, Creighton Abrams, predicts a new communist offensive in the south, but He believes there will be no major attack on Saigon, although it could be shelled. At Harbor General Hospital in Torrance, 58-year-old Oxnard grocer Richard Newell was cheerful and improved today. He has the heart of that young suicide victim beating in his chest. He's had a visit from his wife, and he is resting in a specially designed intensive care unit.
KHJ, Danny Baxter, Sports.
KHJ Sports baseball dispute prediction was smack on the button. On 2020 News this morning, at 20 minutes till 9 to be exact, this reporter predicted any federal intervention in the owners-players pension fund dispute would unlock Pandora's box, leading to disastrous overtones for the game of baseball and possibly other professional sports, and that no one can benefit, player or owner, no matter how any government official would resolve the issue. This afternoon, the owners declined the government's mediation request. Marvin Miller, executive director of the Players Association, had asked for federal help to settle the issue after the Players Organization had turned down the latest offer by the owners. Inadvertently or not, Mr. Miller's request for government aid served to establish that a union existed amongst major league players, and that would, of course, have far-reaching consequences. Baseball could easily lose its tax exemptions as a sport. The government agency quickly grabbed at the bait and announced a tentative meeting for Monday with both warring partners to attend. Actually, but they worked without blinders tonight. I speak of the owners. They are certainly as aware as this reporter is of the overtones behind this last-ditch move by Mr. Miller. The owners gracefully declined this afternoon the federal agency's request for that meeting. So as of late this afternoon, it appears that baseball is still a sport. And that's sports tonight the way I see it. Danny Baxter, KHJ 2020 News.
Hi-ho, hey, hey, chew your little troubles away. Hi-ho, hey, hey, chew Wrigley spearmint and gum. The work goes faster, smoother too. Life seems brighter when you chew. Hi-ho, hey, hey, chew Wrigley spearmint and gum. Chew your little troubles away. Hi-ho, hey, hey, chew Wrigley spearmint and gum.
KHJ weather.
Just ahead of another chapter in the history of rock and roll. Look for rainy conditions tonight. Showers at times tomorrow, with rain again Sunday, becoming heavy at times Sunday night. Low tonight 47, high tomorrow 58. Here in Hollywood now 55 degrees. This is Marv Howard, KHJ News.
The history of rock and roll.
When I was just a lad of 10, my father said to me, come here and take a lesson from the lovely lemon tree. Don't put your faith in love, my boy, my father said to me. I fear you'll find that love is like the lovely lemon tree. Lemon tree, very pretty, and the lemon flower is sweet, but the fruit of the poor lemon is impossible to eat. Lemon tree, very pretty, and the lemon flower is sweet, but the fruit of the poor lemon is impossible to eat. One day beneath the lemon tree, my love and I did lie. A girl so sweet that when she smiled, the stars rose in the sky. We passed that summer lost in love beneath the lemon tree. The music of her laughter hid my father's words from me. Lemon tree, very pretty, and the lemon flower is sweet, but the fruit of the poor lemon is impossible to eat. Lemon tree, very pretty, and the lemon flower is sweet, but the fruit of the poor lemon is impossible to eat. left without a word. She took away the sun, and in the dark she'd left behind, I knew what she had done. She'd left me for another. It's a common tale but true. A sadder man but wiser now, I sing these words to you. Lemon tree, very pretty, and the lemon flower is sweet, but the fruit of the poor lemon is impossible to eat. Lemon tree, very pretty, and the lemon flower is sweet, but the fruit of the poor lemon is impossible to eat. Lemon tree.
Peter Yarrow, Paul Stuckey, and Mary Travers sneaked into pop music charts with records that sounded much the same as some of the folk songs which had preceded them, but Peter, Paul, and Mary exposed songs with new ideas and more literate lyrics. They emerged from the churning new folk scene in New York's Greenwich Village, a musical subculture which was to enrich and alter rock and roll and popular music. John Sebastian, who later founded the Lovin' Spoonful, was a part of that scene.
At that time, there was, of course, Freddie Neal. Vince Martin was working with him. Timmy Hardin was there. Johnny Hammond was there. Even, as a matter of fact, Jimi Hendrix was there as Jimmy James and the Blue Flame. The old school of hardcore people like Dave Van Ronk and Mississippi John Hurt would pass through every now and then. Jack Elliott and Buffy St. Marie and Judy Collins. Within this strange little area of about 5 or 6 blocks, there was an incredible cross-section, as well as having all the big vanguard recording artists. There were also a lot of young people. Larry from Canned Heat was in the village at that time, working at a basket house. He worked there at the same basket house that Steve Stills did, which was the same one that I worked at. And at the same time, Maria D'Amato from the Jim Kweskin Band was working right in the same area. I was accompanying her on guitar. Simultaneously, I was working with Freddie Neal and Felix Pappalardi, who now produces The Cream. He was playing guitarron for Freddie. John Hammond, Tim Hardin, several other people were part of this particular club.
Peter, Paul, and Mary were the first to emerge from this folk happening into popular success. The record which established them as more than a one-shot group, though, was written by a member of the old guard of folk music, Pete Seeger.